sometimes bad that like at a certain point you get to, let's just say that unification can also breed bad things, meaning the more people become unified, the less people question the system that's in place. And if people aren't questioning the system that's in place, or at least um, counteracting things to keep everybody in check, if everybody's unified, there can be instances where you get these hierarchies that come into play, and then let's just say use people, right?
Yeah.
Do you know kind of what I'm trying to say here? Like everybody
Yeah.
can be on the same page and unified, but then when everybody's unified, the higher ups of that organization tend to control people for their own ends.
Yeah, it's anaerobic. Absolutely. Just look at the police department.
Yeah.
It becomes stagnant, anaerobic, and self-fulfilling. And so then it breeds disconnect. And it causes a lot of trauma. So it ends up causing the trauma it's trying to avoid. Because, like, let's say that we're pushing in preference. Look at how fucking inbred and like spiritually fucking like the drought of spiritual connection that like a lot of these controllers have. Like these people on TV, all they care about is like how they look and their social success and like flaunting that, you know, basically that we're under control and we don't even see it and it's right in front of our face. They're throwing their gang signs, you know, they're wearing Gucci and all this shit, and they're being famous people. The fucking spacemen are being famous people, the TV show people, the singers, you know, like all the science communicators. They're just riding the fucking wave. You know, they are missing something. And all they care about is in preference.
In preference,
Status.
monetary gain, status.
Monetary gain, status, in preference.
But going
You know,
back to like
not
the police
yeah.
analogy, right? So, like you said, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy when it's like, in order for the police to be relevant, there needs to be crime. And if the police were actually really doing what they needed to do to ensure that there was less crime and really dig into the community and be servants, then you wouldn't have crime, and then you wouldn't have the budget, and if you don't have the budget, then you don't have the force, and then if you don't have the police force,
Yeah.
well, you know, it's one of those things, right? Like it's a snake
Yeah.
eating its tail over and
Well,
over.
it gets worse. It's real simple, and it's like this. If the government didn't lie to us, we wouldn't need them. That's how basic this gets. The only way that people would
We
accept
don't
a
need to.
large government, an overbearing large government, is in comparison to the overbearing large lie that they all believe collectively. That's the only way you could sell it. You could never sell something this weighty, something this inefficient, something this corrupt. You could never sell this to people unless they believe a lie and they think they need it and they have become self-shackled.
Right. It's like constantly convincing somebody that you need um, to basically pass along your responsibilities to some other third party in order to be able
Yeah.
to act, right? And I look at it from this way, right? We live in a society where we don't really have, legitimately do not have adults. We don't have adult human beings, because an adult human being, a man, is somebody that realizes that every single action that they take, they're responsible for. They're responsible for the effects that that has on the people around them, all of that. And you don't need to give up your power to somebody else to understand how to operate in this world. That's what you do when you're a child. When you live
Right.
on your parents' household, it's your parents' rules, and what they say goes, right? And when you grow up and be a big boy, then you're really still a child under the state, and the state constantly controls you until
And the
you
older
realize,
you get, the
yeah,
more you hate deferring to them because you realize, oh, I never should have given, like, why did I sign this in the first place? This is why, like, older people are Republicans because they realize that they grew up a long time ago. Like, I don't need this. This is like, I don't want to be a part of this.
yeah, it's begging for permission. If every human being from birth till death begs for permission from other human beings to do things, we do not live in a world of adult human beings. Nobody grows up. Everyone's a child. I'm just saying. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have what's called arrested development. So then
Yep.
it eventually turns into people who just never grow up. Like it used to be that you'd start a family, get married like under 20, and then by 30 you'd have like a handful of children, and you'd be doing something really important with your career, your house life, business, or whatever it is. That's just not how it is anymore. For a lot of people anyway.
No, I mean, like, back in the day, once people were able to physically have children, they started having children, they started building lives, they started legitimately providing for themselves and their family. Now we have this suspension of that until people are in their, at best, mid
Yeah.
20s, right? When they start maybe contemplating actually supporting themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps getting pushed
And
back.
now the economy is forcing it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when you convince the human race that the females in your population also need to be providing for the family in a way that is not just legitimately taking care of the family, then yeah, you're never going. It's a hole that's never going to be filled. You're never going to get ahead of that game. Because what used to be a sufficient single salary is no longer able to support a family. I mean, it can in certain instances.
Dude, I got yogurt, eggs, and like bananas, cherry pie. I don't know. It was like $80. And milk. That's it. No cheese, no meat, nothing. Just this last week. I mean, I'm kind of stocked up on some of the other items, but just got that this week. $80 just for like nothing. I mean, I'm probably the cheapest bill at Costco, to be honest. I mean, if you
Oh,
get out
you
of
can get
there
out of
for
Costco
under
and keep driving.
100, you're good.
Dude, I'm lucky. We're lucky as two adults, zero children. Half the time, lucky to get out of there for under 250, bro.
Oh yeah. Like I mean, I would regularly spend $300 every 2 weeks. Yeah, for sure.
And that's the thing. Like everybody wants to just be like, yeah, continue to up the minimum wage. That's what's going to help. It's like, nope, nope, because all that's doing is just devouring everybody in between minimum wage and the highest level earners. You're just devouring those middle income families and making them poorer and poorer and poorer. I mean, when are we going to start to realize that you can't go to Taco Bell for two people for under $30? Why is that? Why is that now the case?
Dude, it's just
What
like
happened?
it's like a small scoop of meat paste on top of like a corn chip.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not even sure it's meat paste anymore, to be honest.
Well, I don't eat the meat, so I don't know. But either way,
Oh, are you vegan?
no, I'm not vegan. I eat fish. I do eat meat. I just don't eat like
You go to Taco
fast
Bell?
food meat. On occasion, yeah.
That's crazy.
I know, right? Like
I
sometimes
think
you
about
just
it. I think
have to
about
get
going to
food.
Taco Bell sometimes. I think about it. Just like out of nostalgia, but it doesn't actually happen.
Yeah, like in the 80s and 90s, yeah, I ate there all the time. But then when it basically the meat isn't even, it's not real meat. That
I don't
Sometimes
eat
you just got to
meat.
program your
Did you miss
DNA.
that part? Did you miss that part? I don't eat the meat.
Yeah, I wouldn't fuck with nothing there or McDonald's. That's crazy.
the
It's great.
the
I live in-
average hourly rate of a fast food employee in the United States is $22 an hour. $22 an hour is the average hourly rate for a fast food employee. Do you know any like?
Damn, I should go work in
Jobs that,
fast
you
food.
know, well, like that's what I'm saying. Like people that are graduating with college degrees and whatever, their expectation is like, oh, I should be coming out of school making minimum entry level job, $100,000 a year. But that's not the case. Most average, like the average entry level job coming out of college, is not paying much more than minimum wage, and we're saddling these kids with hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loan debt to make just a little bit more than minimum wage after they
Yeah, with
graduate
the
from college.
trades. The trades are drying up because of stuff
yeah.
like that.
And then they're
trades
scheduled. They're scheduled to immigrate like another 150,000 H-1B visas from India too. And they're already talking about raising the fast food in California already to $21 an hour. It's hilarious, dude.
You guys see what's happening though? Like they're just completely eroding the middle class, and even the upper middle class is starting to like really feel the pinch.
I'd say they've been doing that for quite a while.
Yeah, they just had a big step up in it though, like with COVID, right? They used the excuse of COVID to be able to really ramp that
shit like that. Holy shit!
Well, it's consolidated. All those mom and pops went out of business, and all that business went to Amazon and
Yep.
DoorDash.
Whatever, like the biggest corporation was in the area, that's where everybody went to.
And the train is only going to get faster, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Well, you have the average whatever kid that's in college or coming out of college now, whatever generation that is feeding this whole idea and concept of we need to lean in and lead with artificial intelligence, which artificial intelligence is just code word for reducing the amount of staff that most employers need to hire through implementing automations. And you have kids that are like begging for this to happen. Now, certain people are going to have jobs, right? Like, some people are going to have jobs in this scenario, but most of them don't realize unless you're on the higher end of that, you're not. There's not going to be a big market for you. Like, I work in the accounting industry, and guess what? We're not hiring a lot of people at all. And those young kids that come in, yeah, we'll take you for 3 years, and then when you start to progress, guess what? You're out. And the people that have been there for 20 years, guess what? You're not buying into the new system. You're resistant to the AI. Yeah, you're out. And it's just getting consolidated. Many industries are doing that. Well, what's the end goal? I know a lot of people are like, UBI, universal basic income, it'll be fine. Oh, so we can all equally, universally be poor with our hands out, like, please, sir, can I have more? Please, sir, can I have a few more?
Just watch the movie The Giver. You watch the movie The Giver, that's basically what they're trying to basically turn life into. Like that is an outcome that they're aiming for.
Can you give me a rundown, just real quick?
Oh, you haven't seen The Giver? I thought you had. Dude, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that for you. You need to watch it. I'm sorry.
2014?
Yeah. You recommended to me? Where they were in, like, it's like some space thing?
Yeah, maybe.
That was a good one.
It wasn't a space thing that I recommended, but I may have recommended The Giver to you.
Do you remember the space thing where it's like they take a pill, right? It's like a society of emotionless people.
That's not a space thing, but yeah, that's the movie.
It's fucking that. Yeah, that one was good.
You did watch The Giver?
Yeah, it kind of is.
Jeff Bridges and
yes, Jeff Bridges. Yeah, The Giver. So The Giver is pretty much almost exactly how they want to create smart cities and how manage depopulation and the culture of society going forward. This is pretty much exactly. I mean, it's a template. So if you want to know what the future is going to be like in the next 10, 20, 15 years, watch that. That's what they want.
To boost the. It reminded me so much of like the whole subscription to the pharmacy model. That's what I kept thinking throughout the whole movie. Like, my goodness.
Well, they got to take their pill every morning. right? They're in vaccination every day.
Yeah,
They
subscriptions.
just control it from the top down.
Everybody's trying to get everybody on a subscription right now.
For your safety.
They give that full movie on YouTube. I'm surprised. Not even
Pretty good, actually.
Oh yeah, they want it. They want it
Is
out
that
there.
Kate, who's that girl? Is that Kate Beckinsale?
No, she's
I don't
not.
know. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Somebody wants to stream it and go to the other room or something, I'll watch it. It's a banger.
I haven't seen a good movie in like 3 months now, so.
Well, I'm not going to say it's a good movie. There's some really depressing parts of it, especially if you know more of things like we know. But it is also a flat Earth movie. So
I did see F1. It's not bad for just pure entertainment.
Brad Pitt or no?
Yeah, it's Formula One, Days of Thunder, basically.
Nice. Days of Thunder, nice.
They can't help themselves but to push that propaganda in there, though, can they? Like there's
There's a
parts of
little
that. Yeah, there's so many parts of that movie. Like you could just strip out of it and add something, useful to the storyline. I think.
Hey, what makes that movie a flat Earth movie? Just wondering.
Wheels on the ground.
it's got like a dome reference, and it has like an elder basically trying to teach how everything's fake to this kid, pass on the knowledge.
Yeah, maybe I'll check that out. Where's it? It's just on YouTube for free?
I don't know. Might be. I mean, if you go to yardlist.com, doesn't matter if it's on YouTube, you can get any movie.
What site is that? Send me a link, dude.
Yarlist. YARR list.
Okay.
Just have a good pop-up blocker. Yeah, I don't think I've paid for a movie since Space Jam.
I mean, I used to get shit through the Pirate Bay and all that, but I don't really watch too many movies or TV shows too often. But
yeah,
it sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's worth a watch, especially for this group of people. I would say Dark City is another like flat Earth type movie, and then Snowpiercer, obviously Truman Show. They're out there. There's a bunch of them, and they're all like specifically and oddly like flat Earth referencing movies. Like they reference the hierarchy, they reference the deception, they reference the flatness. What's up?
What was name those again? I know the Truman Show. Everyone knows that.
Oh, a Dark City, Truman Show, Snowpiercer, The Giver. Dude, there's like dozens of them.
Have you seen Capricorn 1? That movie's hilarious.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I fell asleep to it. I need to watch it again.
Just got to see that chase scene when he goes off the bridge. It's pretty good. And yeah, it's worth watching, dude. The whole movie's pretty good.
Cool.
Did you ever see Logan's Run, the old one?
I probably have. I'm bad with names sometimes.
From like the 60s. I think Charlton Heston or something. I forget.
It's very likely.
No,
I've seen a bunch of shit that I can't like remember. Or I might not even realize that I did see it, Like I'd watch a whole movie on TV and then never knew the name.
I had to start a list. I had to like write sticky notes to myself. Movies that I like. I call it memorable movies.
Inception's got to be up there.
Inception? Oh, I hate that movie.
No, stop it.
I can't stand Inception or that space movie with was it Matthew McConaughey or I don't know.
Interstellar? You mean the documentary?
I can't stand Interstellar or Inception.
What about the one from the 90s where that just keeps playing the beginning over and over again? Every scene like resets itself.
It's got 2 letters. Pi?
I don't know, man. I hate that movie.
Why don't you like the Inception? What is it about it?
I thought
it just reminds me too much of It reminds me too much of Transformers. Like it just becomes this long ass movie that's just like never ending. It's like, oh my god. I just get bored of watching movies. I really don't enjoy it most of the time. I know that's counter to everything that you've heard thus far, but
yeah, I was like that when I was younger. Like I just didn't watch movies at all.
Like, okay, for example, I've seen the first Matrix. I only remember part of it, and I haven't seen the other ones.
Not missing a whole lot.
Okay, but people would argue otherwise. They'd say, "Oh, you can't believe you never watched the Matrix." I'm like, nah.
Oh, the first one.
Or here's another one: Star Wars.
Memento was the movie I was thinking about.
I've watched like one Star Wars, and that's it.
I think I saw the whole Star Wars like one time, but never made it through all the new stuff. It was just wasn't.
I absolutely have not watched the new stuff, and I was ridiculed for like, "Oh, you didn't see how bad the Jar Jar Binks was?" Like, nope. Oh,
that shit was so annoying.
Skip that bullshit. Yoink. Didn't watch. But I'll watch something like Gattaca, something that's captivating, something that keeps your attention, has a great plot, has like hidden information inside of it, like how he changes his personality and gets a leg lengthening surgery, all to go to space. It shows the commitment that someone would have to go through to go to space. Which is almost Gattaca, yeah. And that's basically the same story that
was pretty
the
good.
Russian guy would have had to do to become Neil Armstrong. So that's interesting to me.
Yeah, that one was good. I'll give you that.
Yeah, stuff like that is great. I haven't watched it in a long time, but the most unbelievable part about it is that they were basically trying to give people an emotional attachment to the person he took his identity from, because he was like a caretaker. In real life, that's not how they do it. They don't do that.
Right.
They just print out a new name, give them papers.
Yeah, they don't need to jump through all those hoops.
Yeah, but
the paperwork.
It's called subterfuge. So if you ever came across a story, because all these stories are based on real life, like most of the movies you see, you can find an analog, basically that they're doing in special operations or in secret some way, right? Like they're recycling themes, because why not make money off it? Why not? I mean, have you ever been in a situation like, oh man, if that were a movie, like that would be amazing, right? Well, that's all they're doing. They're doing crazy shit, and then they're making a movie about it. So they'll tell you the truth, but then there's a little bit of like, they change it up a little bit. Like, okay, oh, we're going to take the name from this dude in the wheelchair, and then he's going to become his caretaker, and that's part of the story. You know what I mean?
Well, they can tell you all the truth they want as long as they call it sci-fi.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you guys seen that new movie? I want to watch it. It's called Sovereign. It reminds me of some of the conversations in here. It's about a dude that convinces his kid, gets him into like the sovereign citizen movement. He explains like how laws are just bullshit, they made up. And then it ends up consuming them. But yeah, I haven't watched it yet. It's gonna be interesting to see how they spin it,
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear anything the last like 5 seconds. Spin what?
Oh, the movie Sovereign, right? So the whole thing's based on sovereign citizen. You know the sovereign citizen argument you hear?
Yeah.
The plot is going to be like a father, right? That kind of like instills these ideas into his kid. Like, dude, this is bullshit. Like, what you see in the law is not the real law. Kind of like little how you hear Matthias, Isa, whatever talking.
Yeah,
a lot of these,
they're stealing the narrative. I shit you not, bro. That guy, the fittest flat earther, the guy Tyler, or whatever the fuck his name is on Facebook or whatever. That guy exists because of the shit that me and New Perspective talk about. Like they literally created this guy because of the shit that we talk about.
Oh shit! That was weird.
He's stealing all of our fucking talking points, and he's doing a bad job. Like, dude, I shit you not. So this is what they do.
Alex Jones, pretty much.
Wait, who created them? Who do you think created them? God?
I don't fucking know. I don't know what agency or what interest. I don't know.
You're saying he's a plain.
Yeah, he is. Everything about him is not legit. He's not fucking legit. I said this from day one. This dude is not real. Because like he'll come out with real ones that are obvious and true, and then right next to it put out the fake one that is like obviously not. Like he says Elvis is Trump.
Who is this?
Like I'm just saying, Tyler, I don't know what's his name. Fittest Flat Earther, that's the name he goes by. Total fucking whack job, this dude. And he's stealing.
About that one guy being Robin Williams, that guy?
I don't know what he's talked about. He's talked about a bunch of them. But he only started coming around after people in this room have been talking about this shit for years now. But this guy is going around like basically getting like, you know, he's the kind of guy who gets like 500,000 like subscribers and views, and like people sign up for his like Patreon, and like this is his like this is what he does though. This is his act.
Hey GM, I think you sent me one of his videos once, and it was, or somebody else has too. And he just does like really bad, like this person is this person ones, you know, like like
no,
really
he'll pick the worst comparisons, and then he'll use some like sliding left and right comparison thing from like a cell phone app or whatever. It's lazy and bad.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Not to say he's wrong about all of them, but it's like,
yeah,
he and you see how like it very easily, because you know James Brown is Obama type shit. Like, no, bro.
I think he did shit on the Challenger too, right?
Bro, he's wearing a hat.
Probably.
He's wearing a hat in
I
this video.
only watched it a
That's
couple
his
times,
ice
yeah.
wall. It's literally
I think
his
I've
ice
only
wall.
seen like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 of them, like on YouTube Shorts, and I've definitely had a palpable cringe react to some of them that just seems way off.
Yeah. Well,
And, yeah.
you see that is exactly the point, right? Like that is designed to fucking just shoot people off in the street. Like just, oh yeah, like, okay, it used to be that we could have these discussions, right? And we could talk about it, and it was like really interesting, and we'd get into the backstory and stuff. So that's another point, actually. This guy never gets into the backstory. He will compare like one mole of like 2 very uncharitable photos, and like one picture is like really blurry, the other one's not. It's like, oh, like the mole is the same on the arm, and you just do like one, and do no backstory comparison, no, just extremely poor.
Nothing like that. Yeah, no age comparison, none of that.
Yeah, nothing, just no backstory, no nothing, no extra. Just like, oh, here's very, very loose, obviously not true, like garbage comparison. And then he'll just throw it out there, you know, like with the same kind of gusto that I would have of like a very competent research comp.
And we get sent those, you and I, of course, will get sent those videos by several people because they think, oh, you're the one that thinks everybody doesn't die and everybody just turns into somebody else, and you accept any theory, like it's just insulting to your intelligence. Some of the work you put into like comparing the pictures. And then they just tag you as like the same kind of guy as this guy. It's subterfuge.
The point of subterfuge, exactly. The point of me bringing it up is that like this guy comes out, and now like enough of this bullshit goes around, and suddenly Geo is laughing at these comparisons and may even be retracting from some of them, and like is tired of seeing it. And I don't blame you. I wouldn't blame somebody of being tired of seeing the shit, especially with stuff like that going around. Because then it's like, yeah.
Real quick,
people that are alive.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
This guy's
Wait,
saying,
what are you saying about me laughing? I'm not laughing at anything.
Well, you were anybody.
No, he's just saying anybody. Yeah, anybody that sees like sees him as cringe might cringe at all the theories eventually after like seeing a bunch of bullshit by him.
Right, all of them. Yeah.
What are you gonna say, Rigger?
One of these videos, right? He's trying to say that there's 2 people, right, that are currently alive are the same person.
Oh yeah,
it's going to discredit so much of what he's saying. He's saying Pedro Pascal is Orlando Bloom.
Right? Yeah, ridiculous. Actually, that Sun and Moon channel did some weird shit on that too. Maybe suspect of her. She was saying that Trump and Biden were the same person. Literally, she had a video on
that would be a wild one. That'd be wild.
Yeah. It's stupid though. I mean, like, why even go? Why like put it out there as if you're sure about that instead of just joking? You know? Or without some kind of elaborate theory.
Comparing people, he's got like hundreds. It looks like.
Who?
This guy. He has a lot of stuff that, like, I agree with. Not a lot, but a few things. But most of it is like funny.
I'd say half of it, maybe less.
But is the stuff you agree with something that everyone's been saying already?
Right. The ones that I agree with are mostly already out.
Yeah.
There's other people.
And then they throw in these new ones that are just like, what the fuck is this?
That well-aware one guy is a good example of the same thing. He's the old school version of this. The well-aware one. Well-aware. Remember
right.
Yeah.
Well, they would give you some genuine ones.
Eddie Murphy was somebody that like was a murderer, and they trying to make all the SNL people, like criminals and weird shit like that. But then he had some good ones, that were like on the money that we already knew about. It seemed like they're on the money. You can't be sure about any of these like 100% necessarily, but that's the art of it. But yeah, I was thinking a movie called Subterfuge that I wanted to write. Like Gattaca, some of these movies that are just like the one word, like Inception. Subterfuge should be the title of a movie all about this kind of thing.
Dude.
Have you seen THX 1138? That's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, that is good. That was the high school. Wasn't that what's his name? Debut movie, like his first movie that he ever made. Kubrick.
Yeah. He also filmed Altamont concert where that chick got stabbed or killed by the Hells Angels. That was his first movie.
Oh, really? Okay. I never saw that.
But his first film, I guess, I think it was a student film. THX 1138.
Yeah, that was a cool one. Yeah, wasn't that Willem Dafoe? Not Willem Dafoe. Was William
Robert? The dude from Godfather.
Yeah, something by tongue. Anyway, good movie, but it's simple but good. I was going to jump in earlier when you guys were talking about movies, and then Limitless figured out the movie he was thinking of, but I thought he was thinking of a movie a lot of people haven't seen called Run Lola Run. Has everyone seen that? It repeats the movie over and over again, kind of like Memento, but it's totally different. Anyway, check that one out. Then I came in because you mentioned me about the dude being like Subterfuge. That would be the best title. A movie that it tells everybody what Subterfuge is. Like, it makes them aware of it by showing all these examples of people like doing a poor version of your actual, possibly valid theory to make you look stupid, like they do with flat Earth.
But how do you know that he just doesn't have his own theories that you might not agree with, and it's just his things? Like, like Pete Shea used to say, like, Obama is Will Smith, and he seemed like he really thought that. Terrible. I mean, he really did,
But he's not Pete Shea. It's almost like you have to have the discernment. You can see he's got lots of subs. He's pushed forward. He's the first thing that comes up on Twitter. He's like, the way he presents it. There's all these details. That
this guy became famous before I heard about him.
Yeah,
and he's talking about this. Dude, we've been at this for a long time.
Yeah, the
We've
algorithm.
been at this for a long time. There's no way I would have missed this dude in my journey. And it's just really obvious by his behavior and his knowledge and the way he carries himself. It's as if we've been training them on how to be like us, and he's doing a really poor job at that.
Yeah, and instead of presenting it as if, like, with, like you were saying, with the details, some of the research, some of the back history, like actually caring about whether it's truth he's putting forward, he's just saying, here you go, you missed it. This person is this person for sure. Just look at these two pictures. Elvis is Trump. Come on now. Oh, and speaking of that, actually, the funny thing is that when you mention any of these theories about somebody becoming somebody else, one of the things that they did use as subterfuge for these theories, it seems, was the idea like, oh yeah, you probably think Elvis is still alive too, right? Because they had like those sightings people have of Elvis, and like it was a big joke. You were stupid to think Elvis is still alive. But then you find out Elvis is actually the most obvious one, that is Pastor Bob Joyce. And that's the funny part, of the ironic part of all that. Yeah.
He's like out there doing his own thing, like in public still.
Actually singing Elvis's songs just like Elvis, like nobody else can. And like every detail about him, the laugh, those stories, the back, everything about him adds up to Elvis. And it's the most obvious one.
But meanwhile, they're talking about how Elvis and Tupac are on an island somewhere. Like these guys are like the token ones to talk about, but then they actually are just doing their own thing. So.
Right. Tupac's obvious too as fucking a kill.
Do a people search of his real name, and it'll show an address in Pennsylvania, and his former addresses are like where he used to live. So it's weird.
So who? A kill? I mean, Tupac.
Tupac. His real name was something Parrish Crooks. Lashane, but it's spelled different. It's Lasane. So I forget if it's Lasane or Lashane. Parrish Brooks, and that's Tupac's real name. Like, it shows his address in Pennsylvania currently, or it did.
Oh, really? So his real name is still, you can still look up his real name, and that guy still exists.
And you can see the former addresses are like where he used to live in LA and like Oakland or whatever.
Right. They overlap the careers too. The fact that they have Biggie Smalls is in the fucking Jurassic 5 along with all the other guys, like fucking Eazy-E, and even one of the Beastie Boys, the Ad Rock guy seems to be in there and all that. That is so crazy. And they had to overlap the careers is the other thing. That's one of the keys to it. If you could have performances by Jurassic 5 before the supposed shooting of Tupac, then it makes it really hard to convince somebody or for people to think that that's possible.
Well, the giveaway for that is that you look at the performances or the evidence of that, and it's loose. There's there's maybe like one or two events that overlap, like Nirvana and this other band, right? And there'll be like a couple that overlap. There's no evidence of those events, and there's maybe one video, nondescript, not showing the event title, not showing any dates or banners in the background, no one with any like face shots other than the people performing. So it could have been shot at any time and created at any time. And this is always the case. Or there's photoshopped photos. Another thing is that these times that overlap hardly, if ever, exceed 3 years. In any of these cases. And most of them,
3 years. 3 years is a lot.
Is like a
3
lot.
years is a lot. Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot.
3 years is a lot. Usually it's like 1 year or 2 years.
Yeah. But they seem to do like they did that with Clint Eastwood and James Dean. They had Clint Eastwood in like a few bit parts that that looked a little bit more like Clint Eastwood was going to look, after the little bit of the plastic surgery they did on his lips and stuff. But yeah, they made sure to overlap those careers just a little bit before they told us Dean died and found out, and made him a lot taller and all that. I don't think he did leg surgery though, because I think the proportions of their bodies are actually.
I think it's possible. I do have that one photo, but I don't know. I think the scar would be too visible. They do have ways of getting rid of the scars though too now. So I don't know. I don't think they would have had it back then.
That would be pretty serious surgery. Like extend your legs, especially because movie magic. Oh, there's actually some photos they took early on of Clint Eastwood where they just over exaggerated it in Photoshop. Like, so the legs were way too long. Like it doesn't even look natural. His thigh is like as long as his regular leg in another picture.
Well, it's getting a little gay for everyone else in the room now. So, but yeah. I just think that Subterfuge is out there, and they just fucking throw these people out there. What was the original point, though? There was a point I brought up this dude as an example. What was the original?
About the movies. Well, you were talking about the truth in movies and the predicting programming or telling you the truth, but doing it so people confused. No, it was about that people hear the real idea, but then they think, oh, it's a movie, so it couldn't be real because they made a movie about it, and that's where you're getting that idea from, or they make people think about it as fiction when there might be a lot of truth to it. But because it's a movie now, any of those truth things just seem like fiction.
You know what? That you did a good job. You did a good job. That is exactly what we talked about. As a very good recountants. However, that I don't think that was the spark of my inspiration for that sidetrack.
Fittest Flat Earth.
Yeah, well, yeah. That was the sidetrack. Fittest Flat Earther was a sidetrack, but I forget why I brought it up. It's okay.
Because you were talking about subterfuge.
Yeah, but I forget what the spark was. Don't worry about it. It was a good side.
Anyway, there was something else to it, right?
There was something else.
Well, you were talking about, he was stealing our material, or basically like not our material, but stealing like
but that's still part of the other thing. Whatever the inspiration was not Fittest Flat Earther. It was before that, which sparked the topic. So it's fine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're talking about the Gattaca, which was a good movie. If people haven't seen that, that was one of the movies I thought went under the radar.
Gattaca, okay. Yeah.
And how he had his legs extended might have been similar to what Neil Armstrong and
right. So they tell you, they put it out there, but they have to change it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're actually pulling, like, at the very least, if you believe even one of these stories, you have to think, why are these kinds of situations showing up in movies? And why are they always AAA movies? Yeah. Well, it's because they're basically turning their real operations into scripts. They're recycling, regurgitating the psyops they're performing on the Goyim by charging them for it. They'll charge you an ad revenue, and then they'll charge you at the box office.
Yeah, I was thinking about like how people use that spaghetti monster, flying spaghetti monster, as like a substitute for God to mock the idea of God.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about like the Illuminati and that kind of figure that people like who's they or whatever. If you think about it, like, the way that they operate, you can think about this giant figure, like a giant trickster with a lisp and a wink and a nod is kind of how they treat that general, like cluing you in and kind of gaslighting you, but doing it with a wink and a nod, kind of like that's the way that if you were going to control a society, you'd have to like give them all these different ways of interpreting what's going on because you're in full control, and you might kind of gaslight them at the same time, give them like a little helping hand so that you don't totally feel completely guilty, and I don't know if it's a code or what people put down as far as like they have to tell you the truth or whatever. I think it's more like they're kind of like just babysit. They feel like they're babysitting, or they made themselves that way, and they're telling you, but they're not telling you everything because you're not going to find the secret room with all their drugs in it because they're going to tell you that room is where the devil lives, and no one's going to want to go in there or whatever facade they have to put up so that they can keep things under control, and that's how they justify it. And they have a lot of fun with it.
For pedos on top of it.
That too, yeah. And then there's a bunch of bullshit, like real evil shit. And they kill people through whatever else, whatever means necessary. Coercion to kill you. That's like really. But they feel like, and then they justify it by thinking about it as like trimming the hedges or whatever. And the ironic thing is that what we're doing, and it has to stay organic as much as possible. And if they're ever telling us the truth, then we should really worry. They're telling us the earth is flat. Kind of seems like the unwritten goal, like we're trying to force them to tell us the truth. But if that ever happens, it's going to come with a bunch of bullshit.
Well, it seems like they've already done that.
Quality of life restraints.
Like they're going to offer us truth. They're going to tempt us. They're going to give us subject matter experts on Mark Sargent's channel, and they're going to give us some arguments, but ultimately, as long as they control certain outcomes, like presuppositions, like, perhaps some expectations of a particular map, then they can cook the conclusion.
Yeah, it's kind of like you could have whatever theory you want about Antarctica or the ice wall or whatever it is, because they may have that like perimeter now militarily, cut off from access enough that they're not worried what you think or what you find out. Who's going to have the fucking means to go there? But yeah, I think TFE was the best thing to happen for Flat Earth, ironically. Like you guys were talking about the other night. That was a great talk with Whitson in here. You guys were talking about how it sorted things out. True. Even if there was some negative consequences.
I'm still, I'm still a little bit butthurt that, all there's only actually one, well, there's maybe two things, but we don't have to talk about one of them, but the main thing that I'm a little bit butthurt about with the TFE is that, I guess Jaron and Whitsett put all this effort into controlling the behavior of TFE and Duffy and their ability to like, you know, use their image and create this documentation, this trail of documentation. Just basically they can't use the footage, you know, in this situation or unless they approve and they get final edit rights and all this. And after all of that, just like on a whim, Jaron and Whitsitt go on Duffy's live stream and, I mean, in one way or another, say that they didn't see what they expected. Both of them.
Well,
I think
really
that's
didn't say that.
Yeah. Well, he didn't say it the way that Jaron did. Jaron really gave him the beans, but Whitsitt did say that he didn't expect it.
I really hope Jaron doesn't diss Whitsitt's hopes to have his perspective fairly displayed in the documentary. That would suck if he just
and that's the thing. Like they went through all this effort to like control their image, and at the end of the day, there's a video right now of Whitsitt in Antarctica basically standing next to Jaron, co-signing that behavior, and he could very simply just send Duffy an email saying, "Take that shit down. I don't want it to exist." And why did he ever do it in the first place? If the whole point was to control his image, why would you want that particular clip out there? Makes literally zero sense.
I think that was part of their contract, that they were at least going to go on camera and say the results were.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think that
we would all assume that. I don't think so. I don't think that was part of the contract.
Well, why? But then it would look kind of petty on his part at this point to say take that away and like have like all the copies of it destroyed or something. Weird. Couldn't happen. Too late.
Yeah, too late now. But why would you do it in the first place? Like if the whole
because
point
it was like an agreement that they got the $30,000 trip paid, the least they could do is go on and say, okay, yeah, we did see a 24-hour so.
I don't think so, man. I just don't think so.
Well, that's kind of,
like I would do it on my own terms. I would make a video on my own terms. I would make it public or whatever I wanted to say when I wanted to say it. I wouldn't just voluntarily go on.
24-hour how different would it be? How different would what you say be than, you know, look, we saw a 24-hour sun. We were doubtful for whatever reason. You know,
well, the same way that
delivery could have been a little bit better stuff.
Maybe, dude. Maybe. I think that the same way that I wouldn't want to be on McToon's stream or be charitable to any themes or ideas or behaviors that McToon would want to characterize myself and my community as, I wouldn't want to be on Duffy's stream giving him, you know, the clips that he's looking for. I would not be charitable to that person who's been lying and deceiving and conniving. Like I would clearly, on my own terms, make a statement. So that's the only thing that confuses me.
With yours. I was saying don't go not because you know it's not good for flat Earth or whatever else. And if there was people to go, I would definitely have recommended Whitsitt to go. But regardless, you know, it sucks that it turned out the way it did for him. What was I going to say about that? Oh yeah, I was saying don't go because associating with those guys, you know, it's just, you know, like just you sleep with what is it? What's the saying? You know, sleep with the rats, you're gonna wake up in shit or something. Basically, you know. So that sucks. That it was those guys that they had to be associated with to do it. But again, it keeps flat Earth organic in a weird way because what would we rather have had? They went down there and saw the sunset, and the news line said, "Pasteur discovers the Earth is flat." And it's all Will Duffy that gets the credit for it. And, you know, like the next thing you know, there's like flatter taco stands and, NASA's like showing the disc in space. That's us, you know, and all that kind of shit. You know, you never know how bad they could like accept it and make it even worse.
Yeah.
I think the cat's out of the bag right now. If you look at combination of all the executive orders, there's no more of this compartmentalized classification like there was before. You don't have to believe anybody's a good or a bad guy. They've just purposely changed the the classification. They've exposed it to a lot of low-level spec ops, like people who had ex-spec ops, like even like Marine Raiders, certain aspects of different branches, they got this clearance. So I think there's just so much knowledge floating around. It's gonna be a while till we see any clarity if there is any change.
And how will we know? How will we know what clarity is, even if we see it at this point? With the everything being so watered down, saturated with different ideas.
Yeah.
Like if they tell us it's flat, and they say, "Oh, here's we all know it's flat because obviously you can prove it to yourself." But then whatever else they say about it on top of that, then people will be apt to accept because they gave us the big truth. So we know exactly how far the ice wall is and how big it is, and here's a picture of it, and they start showing us pictures again. That could be totally CGI.
I think best case scenario, we get the chance to explore. And even in that best case scenario, I think we'll still be very suppressed in our exploration. I think there's still an obsession to suppress technology, culture, where we are on the planet, our existence, all that. It's a matter of national security. They're obsessed with it, even the good guys, if there are good guys. Right? They're like traumatized into this suppress humanity at the risk for national security or whatever.
The other thing is there could be outer ponders, and it could be some kind of real agreement or a real threat, or the guys in control may not have a choice. For what they're doing, they could be controlled by a more powerful group of beings. Elohim could be real. That could be a race of people that is more advanced than us, where we came from, and we're just like a little, quarantine area or whatever. That could be, and how will we be able to prove that's not the case if they tell us that as an excuse?
Yeah, dude, there's so many common denominators with that. Talking about our DNA was literally suppressed.
Mm-hmm.
So wild, man.
They knew this was going to happen with the internet too. Like such brilliance on their part, such balls.
Oh, they released it.
They
released the internet. Yeah, they knew the timing and everything. I mean, they had to put the cables into the ocean, bro. They knew that it was going to happen. Right. They rolled it out, literally.
Yep. And then all of the subterfuge was like on deck, ready to go. Like just like 9/11 is the perfect like small example of how they work things. Like they planned the conspiracy theories along with the conspiracy itself, and then all the controlled opposition with serious accusations that did add up, and then mistakes were made on purpose. Like couldn't have just been like the wrong engine was found from a different kind of plane, and inflated tires and all these things that didn't make sense that were thrown in there as subterfuge as well. And then it was kind of like the real breaking, 9/11 was right when the internet was becoming a thing that people were paying attention to, and the separation of generations too. Our parents were watching the news, buying the 9/11 story, and didn't know anything about loose change, any of that, right? And it seems like they do that for every generation. They give some big thing that the parents and the kids disagree about, so you don't have any cohesion in the family unit, whether it be Vietnam or whatever.
We got to come up with this movie, bro.
Subterfuge, yeah.
Subterfuge. Yes.
Right? People need to know that because it is a key. It's such a key concept that that makes it the most frustrating, like you were talking about. Yeah. No, flat Earth is not a disc in space. Do we still have to tell people that? I mean, how long do we have to tell people that it's not a disc planet? They'll never get that image out of their mind because it was just, ingrained in there.
Right. It was in my fucking textbook, bro.
Yeah.
I remember that they had added it from one history year to the next in the new book. They were teaching the same thing twice. And when I think I forgot to bring this up last time. Yeah, so like when I stopped believing in history, that's so crazy. This, like in retrospect, this is so wild. But they ended up basically teaching some of the same lessons from one year to the next, from like 7th to 8th grade or something. and the book changed, which caused I guess they were just redoing the curriculum. Anyways, in 1 year they were telling me all the different reasons and the history around Columbus, and then in the new book they somewhat changed that story about the Indians and like how it all went down, and I was like, what the fuck? Like this ain't even match up with last year's, And at the same time, they had the little, the infographic at the side of the page. It showed like a flat Earth with the water falling off in space, because they were basically saying that it was that's when
Columbus. Yeah,
Columbus knew. That's just how they
right.
knew that the Earth wasn't flat, basically.
Right.
Right. And I don't remember if it was a joke or if they were like being serious.
No, that kind of got
but,
mixed in there. I remember that too. It was kind of mixed in with the Columbus thing, like oh, America was discovered, and that's how I know it's not a flat Earth, and that kind of thing was like they could just throw anything in there.
Yeah, it was definitely part of the conversation.
Wasn't Columbus kind of outed too, like almost accepted by the mainstream as like not everyone thought? But Thanksgiving,
I didn't know that.
That whole idea.
I figured that out on my own, just going from the old textbook to the new textbook. That was the first time I had like an awakening, and I was like, oh, they're just making this shit up. That was the first time in my life I ever even thought that history wasn't the story they told me. It was because they told me two different versions 1 year to the next. That's when my mind blew open. I was like, oh. And it's hilarious now as an older man, like it has to do with flat Earth also.
Similar to,
Isn't that funny?
Weren't we kind of told like that they went with the story of like how the Indians and the Pilgrims were getting along and trading food and having a Thanksgiving dinner all together? Wasn't it the whole idea of Thanksgiving kind of given to us?
Yeah.
When really, then it was like, oh yeah, well, you kind of like killed a lot of the Indians, took their land, and that's part of a historical history where we can't really deny it for very long enough. Now, don't they? Wasn't there some kind of big thing about that with Columbus Day and stuff like that, like being changed? Like they didn't have a Columbus Day any longer; they just called it President's Day or something. I don't know.
Oh, I don't remember.
Because of Columbus being more like, I heard that he was responsible for more deaths than they even say Hitler, whatever other historical figure killed off so many people.
Yeah, they say that he was like like basically a savage, just a horrible man, killed lots of people. Yeah. So it's a story. I don't really know like the revisioned or like the latest version.
But then I think all those things that Columbus, and that was one of the early awakenings about the name Columbus and Columbus records and all the things that kind of derived from that name.
Columbia. District of Columbia.
Yep.
Ain't that some shit?
I'm in a deep rabbit hole. Can anybody swat this fly? Does anybody know what Barsoomian is?
You looked it up?
Yeah, like it's a big family. They're lawyers that represent like the Rosensteins, but it's also the spoken language in a book series. It's like the language spoken on Mars. It's very interesting.
Huh.
It's the fictional Barsoomians, the sapient humanoid inhabitants of Mars, in the Barsoom series of novels by Edgar Rice Burroughs. But yeah, anyway, it's the family name. Everything's like scraped. There's like nothing on the internet about this family anymore.
That's interesting. Yeah, I remember Winston talking about that the people that were really in control, erased themselves from history at some point. Not that I haven't heard that from other places, but he was giving some more details about becoming anonymous. It's the first thing you do if you have enough control. Unknown, like wipe your whole race of people or family from existence. And there's no way to find out who's responsible. You just have the minions to go after or blame.
Oh shit!
It would work. What's that?
How do you think that they would maintain power, though? I've always like sort of had a bit of conflict as far as that's concerned, because notoriety is essentially power.
Holy shit!
Well,
Barsoomians apparently with the McCains. Okay, go ahead.
But I didn't really have anything other than to say that, like the Freemasons, you know, like if there's like an Illuminati, right? Let's say the Illuminated ones, like that's a real thing. And then the Freemasons are like a derivative of that. And then you got the Mormons that are a derivative of that. And they all kind of go back to the, you know, whatever the main source is. Even if Illuminati isn't the main source, they report to the outer ponders, but it's because the structure is built that way. It doesn't even matter who's really in charge because it's going to always lead back to Rome or whatever. Guess it's probably my guess at how that would work. Land, I mean, if you own everything, if you own the actual land, you know, and in the secret hidden books that no one can see, and that's just the way it is, and it's always been that way. There's really no need to have a name or notoriety. You can have the kings and queens have the notoriety because they're working for you this whole time.
I think there's some outside management. I don't know if it's in Antarctica or North Pole or there's some management somewhere. You know, so regardless of team or faction, color or religion or whatever, I think there's people outside who really make the shots. Like the Kerry after or before the election going to Antarctica, that was like super. My fucking flags were going off. I was like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, the emergency trip to Antarctica. I thought they were going to bring flat Earth on us with the outer.
Yeah, like right before they're like, hey, by the way, we're putting Trump in. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of emergency.
Yeah. The Russian Pope in a little buoy going down, like in a little life raft going down there, and with the ship with the other Pope that hadn't met for 1,000 years, and they're carrying the Ark of Gabriel supposedly on a ship like, by themselves in this story that has some truth to it because they have pictures of the guy like wandering up with the penguins on shore and like a little church that he's going to, but then nothing else after that. Obama goes there, or Kerry goes there, emergency trip, but no follow-up story of why they went to Antarctica. And
absolutely
trip,
not.
like, nothing else beyond that. Like what? Why would they tell us at all if they weren't going to give us details?
Yeah, there's these little hints now and then that just like set off suspicion. And yeah, it doesn't prove anything. But I would imagine in order to have stability in the system, there would need to be a management out of the system. And a movie like The Giver actually kind of displays that. And also The Truman Show displays that. A lot of different movies display that.
Yep. There's another movie that I can't remember the name of that dealt with the topic that I was talking with E1 actually last night since you guys were mentioning him and the dual pole model and stuff. And I sent him a clip of you guys talking about that. And,
is he online? The guy who makes the maps?
No, but you were confusing him with a different person than the moon map guy. No, this is E1. He's like a pro.
Who's the wrong think guy?
Oh yeah, that's not who we were talking about.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's cool.
Where's that guy?
He went on Flat Earth Friday. Oh, he's cool.
Oh, really?
Actually, you can probably contact him. Yeah, because he went on Flat Earth Fridays and said that he's been saying the same, his moon map stuff he's been saying ever since Fives of the Cosmos was. But he was on that track ever since 2017 or whatever, and he's never gotten any kind of like huge traffic to his site or anything. Some of his stuff's even better.
Dude, his stuff is phenomenal. I love his map stuff, bro. His
was
projection.
On Fridays talking to people. You could talk. I mean, I could get his contact for you.
Wait,
it's not right on his web, his YouTube page.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd love to talk to him. I'm not on Aether Cosmos, dude. There's so many people that are just not on other servers. I don't even have access to my.
I don't even think he's not an Aether Cos or anything. He was just on Flat Earth Fridays one night. And
no. Wrong thing came into Discord.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Dude, Shane got him on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, he was on Fighter Fridays. I don't know if that was through Discord or
not. Maybe. Yeah, Shane got him to come on Aether Cosmology.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, he seemed like a chill dude.
Very chill dude. I mean, I know he wanted to release stuff on. I didn't even check. Maybe he did. He was supposed to release new video in January. Obviously, it's past that, but I haven't actually looked at his channel, so maybe he did.
Well, E1, who people were mentioning last night, I don't know if you might have talked to him. You might have been on Hangout. He was on Hangouts with us for a while back in the day.
You're not talking about Ewar?
No, E1.
E1.
It goes by E1 because everyone's equal. Is the whole idea behind it. Everyone's equal.
I don't know if I know this, dude.
Anyway,
you're saying he's got good stuff?
Well, he's been having he left the whole like main flat Earth talk because he was like, this is bullshit. Why are people like, the only response people have about the southern stars is all stars go east to west. All stars go east to west. And just keep repeating, all stars go east to west, rather than acknowledging that there could be an actual separate star trail going counterclockwise as opposed to clockwise. There's a celestial equator that's a real thing that actually has a real path that doesn't change. So it's not about just following you around with your dome of perspective and changing no matter where you are, like the moon following you in a car. That was just like that concept is like, like you can see it possibly working that way, but not if there's a real celestial equator that can be identified and you have 2 GPs of the sun that you'd have to have with the AE model or the AE map or whatever. That just ruins it, like those considerations need to be done with. And it was put in for the 10-year plan, like we were talking about, as disinformation. And he saw that right away and, was saying some of these things about the Southern Stars and planetary movement. And he knows the stars, like I've always said, in his head better than anybody that I've ever talked to. And he draws his stuff out. I don't know if he doesn't like to use a computer or what, but he draws.
I don't know anything about him.
Well, I've shown
me some stuff.
I'll send you the stuff that he sent me. I've dropped it before, but also his old map was wrong. And Trouble About used to be like talking to him for hours and hours. And she was even on the Sun and Moon channel with like one presentation you can see of his right now. But he left like even the Hangouts when COVID hit and went on like off grid and offline. He thought they were maybe going to throw a crackdown on people about information and stuff. So he kind of got like kind of a recluse reaction to it all. And then he had a kind of a realization about things for the last few months. And I've been talking to him a lot about his maps and what he figured out that he was wrong about. And there's like a 33-degree correction to the prime meridian. That was a huge key. And that the prime meridian should go right over the Great Pyramid, and that like brings all the ley lines together to like make some interesting sacred geometry that has to be the way it is, and like all the symbols came together for him. And the reason I mentioned him is because we were talking about outer ponders, and he said that it seemed like there was a similar race of people that's described in the same way, with different timelines or different points in time with different cultures that are like this kind of light-skinned blue skin figure that they might call Osiris or some of these other characters that we've heard about that could be like the people that are, trading with us or controlling us or maybe bred us like the Elohim or whatever. And he thinks that a lot of the human trafficking might be our way of like appeasing them.
Feeding them?
Appeasing them, or like feeding them or whatever, giving them other humans for other Earths that they use as
organs.
Whatever.
I've heard multiple testimonies talking about Eisenhower made that deal
with the Outer Ponders.
Yeah, And some people say, he's making a deal with demons. Some people say he's making a deal with aliens. Whatever input.
Right. If there's thousands and thousands of children missing that never come up, found, or any kind of reports about, could be something more than just Epstein Island we're talking about, or any kind of other country taking these. Even the wars, you have somebody that's supposedly killed in a war. You don't have any confirmation that their head was blown off, necessarily. And a lot of that could just be using people for organs or experiments or trading them as, the most healthy specimen for a new civilization. Who knows?
Yeah, there's a lot of information showing they value our genetic material, our ability to reproduce. But I don't know. It's such a deep topic. I am leaning more towards the interdimensional aspect. I think these.
Well, that's not deep. That's just pseudoscience.
Some Alex Jones shit right there.
What do you mean by dimensional?
What did you guys' take on Alex earlier?
The Valiant Thor.
I'm not trying to just hand wave it.
Personally,
I think
what do you mean by interdimensional?
Like, the system is designed to throw lawfare and identity credibility attacks on any truth seekers. So I think it's interesting. There's so many other targets to expose other than guys who may be ignorantly trying to do their best. I mean, he's a voice on the radio. He's a radio broadcaster. He's always been the same guy. So I don't see this. It's like 8 years ago. Everyone found out about ops, and now everybody's like, "Oh, we don't trust any truthers." So I think the ship sailed, though, right? If this is meta in the debate, that means the control group here has such a lockdown that we're here for a ride. You're on a roller coaster, strap in.
Well, yeah. Wait, what are you just saying about Alex Jones? Do you think he's actually doing his best? He's not controlled up.
Yeah, and I think if he is as corrupt and controlled as implied by some of the information you guys have shared, the ship sailed decades ago, right? I mean, we're in some in-game experience and we're on a roller coaster strapped in. There are no choices left in this case.
Well, even if he is telling some of the truth, he could be one of those characters, it seems at least that he's given us some truth, and like the subterfuge that we talked about, where he's talking about things that discredit himself on purpose, and that's kind of the way the game's played. And something about the court case with Sandy Hook. I heard that the charges were dropped. He doesn't even owe the money now. I tried to look it up, but it seems like it's kind of hidden.
Well, whoever's controlling this place is doing it through lawfare, doing it through tens of thousands of laws, custom designed to inhibit good men when they make progress. So I can't, I can't get in this bandwagon of identity credibility politics. That's what we're trained to do. That's part of the brainwashing, in my opinion. I think it's more important to look at the questions, look at the fruit that they're bearing. And there is some fruit you guys have called out that I agree with. Okay, yeah, that's not a good, that's a bad example for anybody to be representing that. Yeah.
It's like this, though. I mean, why would they give him a platform? It's such a big platform, and such a big voice, and why would he be that guy, right? He's the perfect person when you think about it, to be that guy, the loud mouth that people are going to be turned off from, even if he is telling the truth. He's like the perfect subject. Not that he's, all bad or all good. It's just a role he's playing. Like Mark Sargent in a way. Like, he's not necessarily a bad guy, even if he is controlled off, because, in my opinion, because his role is to tell us the truth about the earth, because that's what they're planning on doing anyway at some point, and using it, for whatever he doesn't have any idea. That's just his role, that seems to be kind of how they play it. Like, there's a non-disclosure agreement, but it doesn't mean you're an evil person. It just means this is the role you're playing and this is your job. And if you don't mind telling people the truth about some things, that's great. I haven't heard Mark Sargent put out direct disinformation, even if he does a poor job of selling or giving the flat earth quote unquote truth.
Well, and it apparently, just like they can use lawfare to ruin your life, right? They can ruin your life, but at the same time turn you into a martyr. So I see how they could have done that with Alex Jones, but that's it's extremely debatable point. How can we explain that they, sued him for an unprecedented amount of money around falsified information with corrupt AGs, around the country. He's been on the front lines exposing the corrupt lawfare system. So I wonder, is that the drip feed? Okay, we give everyone a carrot on the stick. Oh, look, he's fighting this corrupt political system. Now he's your martyr, right? Is that the full view of the design's opposition from Alex Jones?
Well, that's how much control they have. It seems like you're saying, like they don't
Pete,
really.
What is Mark Sargent's real name?
It depends on what you think. Dennis Luca, that people think.
Can I I'd just like to weigh in on the reason why to tanks. If that's cool. From what I can tell, or I think a really good technique essentially would be to have your fall guy where you can just keep shooting at them and taking him down, and they just come back. And so it gives the pretense that people are being held to account. What would you say that they can just mock the person, ridicule them without any concern of actually being sort of taken to defamation because they know that their guy, who they're criticizing, won't hit him back for defamation at that point.
And they get to launder all the money, right? Any money he pays for these lawsuits goes probably right in the pockets of the guys running
the charges were dropped. I heard he doesn't have to pay anything, and they also seem like an act from the very start. Like he was just like the court, like the online thing where he was like answering questions. That was not official. He was just playing the role of the person that got charged with accusing these people because it was so obvious. But they made it obvious on purpose. Like it's all kind of, in my opinion, seems like it's it's a honeypot to get people to say something about the obvious thing that was fake, so then they could have the censorship, tactics put in place. So they give you something obvious that's fake, and then someone makes a YouTube video about it, and then it's all about the emotions of the people that had their children supposedly die. So then they have reason to justify censorship of content, and then like if he's telling us the truth, like these guys, I always describe them as just telling you who your daddy is. They're not giving you any solutions. Alex Jones is telling you how scared you should be of how much control they have and how you should know this, but there's no solutions there. It's just like, here's the truth, and you don't have much of a chance because they're making frogs gay or whatever. There's no solutions there. It's just the guy that's hired to tell you to make you have that learned helplessness.
Oh, excuse me.
I've been talking to like really wealthy business owners over the last couple of years. And I've been asking them, what's their take on the role of these guys? Because a lot of the, 40, 50-year-old business owners that are making close to $1 million a year, they have such interesting takes where they do a PR campaign around everything they say. And I've gotten this common denominator from probably 5+ guys. And I recently got it from my employer. I just recently got hired. Said the exact same thing. He's saying these guys are they got the green light to drip feed certain information. So
yes,
right. So this, to me, this tails into, oh, of course. So they are part of an intelligence agency that's open, that's admitted. So for me, I see that this is an aspect of the information warfare. So classifying all ops as bad for me at this point, I think has been a detriment to some extent. And I don't know to what extent. Like, this isn't me saying, oh, now I know Alex Jones is actually a good guy, or any of these guys are good or bad. But it's saying, how do we know who the good guys are? And are there any?
Yeah, that's the association I was just talking about. Yeah, like Mark Sargent is not necessarily a bad guy, even if he is the guy that's supposed to tell us whatever, or be the face of flat Earth. Because he may be controlled ops, it doesn't mean he's all bad or Alex Jones is all bad. That's the role they're playing. But it also is an example of how much control they have, because they're telling you the truth to a certain extent. Like 9/11, I was just talking about that. It's the perfect example of that. Like once you go through all the steps, you're mad at first thinking it was what they said. Then you realize it wasn't what they said. Then you start blaming Bush. Then you realize it's bigger than Bush. And then you realize there was no planes. And then there was the whole truth movement was like spearheaded by that. And then JFK before that, with all the different stories about his fake death, fake murder, in my opinion. And all the theories that went into that, because we're in the information age. It's an information war. It's an info war, and we're like voluntarily being the soldiers. They didn't have to even have a draft. We just volunteered.
Yep, and Flynn even
like
speaks in that language. He's like,
I like that a lot.
digital soldiers.
And that's why you have stories like Valiant Thor, like you were talking about earlier with Eisenhower and the aliens. Like, I don't necessarily believe that at all.
Yeah.
And I think that was like more of a pop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a
Battle of Los Angeles. All those. I mean, who knows?
Exactly.
It does seem like there's stuff up there, though. There's UFOs to some degree up there that people have seen, right?
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
all the interpretations are just like, what are they going to do with that?
I mean, they wrote a book about it, right? There's a book on Amazon about Valiant Thor, right? Communicating with aliens and protecting the human race, right? Like,
Have you guys never heard of Mirage Men, the documentary? How
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
About disinfo on purpose.
Yep. Even their own military guys, they were convinced of the story and show them the ship. It's in Hangar 44 or Hangar 33 or whatever, and convince them, and whether they're actually
Hangar
actors
18.
or not, it's hard to know. Hangar 18 or whatever, yeah.
I love Newsbenders.
Newsbenders is a great example.
It's the
I was
best.
thinking about that when you guys were talking about, what was the Gattaca or not Gattaca?
Yeah, maybe.
The other fake base, no, the fake space one that you said. OJ
There's
was
a
on.
old movie called Hangar 18. It's really bad. It's so bad.
Artemis, was it? No, what was the movie you mentioned earlier that started this whole conversation, Riggs? The
Gattaca?
No, not Gattaca. The fake.
The Giver. The Giver. Yeah.
No, the fake going to Mars movie, where they fake it's the original fake
Capricorn
space.
1.
Capricorn 1, which I still haven't seen. Still haven't seen it.
Dude,
Is that the Matt Damon one?
So good. O.J. Simpson's in it.
No, it's an old school one. O.J. Simpson. Yeah.
Okay.
Is anybody paying attention to Luis Elizondo? Anybody know who that character is?
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
He's the guy like frontlining the UAP disclosure stuff right through this new cabinet.
Oh yeah, that's going on right now. That whole thing, right? Now they're saying they're backtracking that. Are they
and you
stepping
brought up
back
the
on
Mirage
that?
Men. Yeah, you brought up the Mirage Men, right? Like this is what Luis Elizondo did for the CIA. Like he trained new agents on how to, get a litmus test on the social status quo and manipulate through that. And now he's and he's coming out and talking about these mechanisms, right? He's saying, "Oh, this is what the CIA used to do," and now I feel like it's my, role to expose that and guide the American people through this process of waking up, and we got to do it in a healthy way so no one loses their mind. I'm like, dude, nobody's gonna believe that. Like, it's only the normies. It's a show for like, it just blows my mind. And you're seeing the views on like News Nation, Cold Heart. If anybody's looking at that, it's just wild to see it going mainstream right now. And they're just everyone's.
Yeah, that's why I was saying earlier if they told us it was flat and made it like a news announcement about it, said the aliens are outer pounders or whatever, then we should really worry. That's the psyop we should really worry about. To use some kind of like obvious truth to make that fake awakening golden age that it seems like they're trying to manufacture.
Dude, what's good about that movie is when that dude, they try to kill the dude and he goes off like a bridge and goes into the water, but he survives. And then he goes to the astronaut's house and like someone else lives there and shit. Like that person never existed.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Yeah. I'll have to see that one. It's one that's been on my list forever as a flat earther. You're supposed to see Capricorn 1 at least. Where They Live or those kind of classics.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's a good movie.
Newsbenders tells you everything. It's like jaw dropping the first time you see
Before the moon landing.
Yeah.
Before the moon landing.
Right? They're telling you we're faking everything. That's like the definition of what we're talking about now. For that.
They gave away the house.
Yeah, you know what? This is how we're gonna do it. And then we're gonna do it. And yeah, that'd be good. Newsbenders. But that's how it works. They just tell you exactly what they're gonna do and do it. like the thing that Bill Gates did before the pandemic. What was it called? They had like all the news reporters arguing with each other about the validness of the injections, and all of that was all scripted, and they were arguing just as like we saw it in real time. In
Mockingbird.
real time, yeah, total Mockingbird fashion. What was that called? Event 201.
Somebody made a
I think so.
montage, was able to time sync thousands of local news organizations, and it was crazy. They all literally say the same thing.
Yep. Oh yeah, with the same exact line about the kids with the ice cream or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Ice cream for ice cream.
Yeah.
This is
And then, like,
extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Yep. And they probably edit that to show you, like, the news benders in a way. It's like,
Right.
here's how much power we have. We make all the news stations say the same thing. That's the learned helplessness.
That's the
Kinda like
crazy
9/11.
part. Is they
Yeah.
they probably synced it up just for the flex,
Right. Exactly.
just to
They made
release
sure
the
there was that many.
synchronization video.
Right.
Yeah.
And like people
Cody,
were
the
talking
truth
in here
there.
about the other night with real quick about the Sandy Hook kids, being older at the Super Bowl singing, and if you can see it's the same kids, and then you see how it works. That wasn't just some like truther that found that and realized it by looking at the Super Bowl thing. They showed that to us on purpose.
Oh, it's a private school. There's no way that they just showed it to us. Those things were released.
No, they showed us the kids at Super Bowl, right? It wasn't that some truther recognized the kids that were singing at Super Bowl happened to look like those kids, right? They told us that they looked just like those kids. It wasn't somebody who discovered it. It was them telling us. It was a gaslighting, at my opinion.
So you think that was what was that guy's name? How big? Do you think How Big is in on that whole thing?
I think that he's suspicious because he doesn't talk about any of the other fake shootings. Just Sandy Hook, as if that was the only one.
Well, I don't know if he would know that because, yeah, I just don't know. Was he present at this one, or what does he claim to? Did he just watch a video of it, or like what?
About Sandy Hook, he supposedly did like the investigation more than anybody, and did the whole he was put out there as like the guy that was telling us that the school wasn't even in operations, and some of the stuff that might have been true, and it was all psyop anyway, so it doesn't really matter what's true and what's not true. Even
if you look into his
probably
name, yeah, you'll find that he's been in and out of jail, and like they've been fucking with him like hard. So I don't know. It kind of gave me some street cred for me. He's looking real rough, but also, they can make those. So
But we already saw it was fake from actually what they showed us. We didn't need him. He's just like the Alex Jones of that, one topic. Like you don't have to even hear any theories to see how fake it was. All you have to do is see the guy that brought the kids into his home that they showed us like the dress rehearsal of him practicing his lines in his driveway before they put him on air, and said that he had these kids in his house, and what that actor's name was, or I even think that the dad that was doing the breathing exercises before he went on air, that was also intentional to show how fake it was, to get people to make videos about it because it was so obviously fake, so they would have the censorship practices, put in place with justification.
Well, that could be the case. Could be sloppy work, could be intentional.
It's sloppy, bro. That's way
like
sloppy.
Yeah, it's super sloppy. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think that whole event was done in a sloppy way for the purpose of framing people like us, because they know that we would call it out.
Yeah.
And so it would be this honeypot. Dude, the whole Sandy Hook thing was a massive honeypot, in my opinion, because they released so much fake footage, like super fake. Like they brought pizzas, they were doing circles, they used the same people. Like like the actor, like, oh my god! And then they released the footage after the fact of like the Super Bowl. Like, it was intentionally a fucking honeypot. They did a shitty job.
Yeah. Well, they did a great job of doing a shitty job on purpose, it seems.
Dude, even the actor that the bald dude with the black hair, like he was like a professional, like the parents that go around like parading as like, oh, my daughter died or whatever, like that those people were on IMDb, and the movies they played were the similar role. It's like, oh my gosh.
I mean, Trump jokes about central casting all the time. Like, it is
right.
Yeah.
Just again, it's learned helplessness.
You're right,
like,
when you're saying that.
They made examples of people like losing their channels, getting kicked off YouTube.
The show's not for us, right? It's for the normies.
Right? But we're the soldiers that are, we're the examples that could be used at their whim to, like, censor or whatever.
Right. This is what I'm telling people. They need us. They need people they need the 90% or the 95% to have someone to point at to say, well, we must live in a free society because these guys exist, and they're out there driving without their licenses, and they're being sovereign citizens, and they're getting to do whatever the fuck they want. So we must live in a free society. How could an incompetent government with people like this out there organize something so specific and get away with it? They could never do that. Have you been to the DMV? Oh my God.
Yep. That's the most brilliant part about it. They've convinced the world that idiots run the world. So then they can just, everything that's fucked up can just be blamed on the idiots people think are in charge, when it's really way more sophisticated. So sophisticated, in fact, they convince people that idiots run the world.
Well, it's a shield of ignorance. Yeah. They literally have armies of ignorant people who are like, what are you talking about? No, bro, you're fine. Go back to the city. Everything's fine.
Right.
So frustrating.
Yeah, I
gotta give them a slow hand clap. A slow hand clap does seem appropriate, on all levels. Sometimes it's just like, wow.
I came up with some clarity on this whole conspiracy thing as a meta. So I think Tank would appreciate this, and I'm pretty sure maybe the rest of the room might. But along with the idea that they need conspiracy theorists so that the normie can have someone to pontificate on and think, oh, well, I have freedom because these people exist and these people are crazy, right? So it gives them a reason to think that society's on the up and up, and they, when they go to work, it actually fucking means something. But on top of that, it's like back in the day, you might have a conspiracy theorist. It might just be 1% of the population. They didn't have radio. I mean, they didn't have radio. They didn't have TV. They didn't have all these digital conveniences. So in the rural area, those people aren't necessarily a threat. They'd most likely just want to mind their own business. Leave me alone kind of thing. Now their goal is to give everyone the information. The information's everywhere. It's in their pocket. It's in their cell phone. It's in their brain. They want everyone to be soaking in information. And the consequence of that is that they're going to have to now with everyone being armed with information, they have to arm people with disinformation. And so instead of being worried about that 1%, because they're not really worried about that 1%, they have to essentially create a percentage of the population which would represent those people. Because now that everybody has that information, there's going to be a growing amount of concerned peoples. They want to keep that percentage within a small percentage. So they're going to create a group of radicals, and they're going to maintain them. It's the only way to have the internet that's free and have it self-maintained, is to have a large group of dissidents so that the other 90% can point at them and go, look at these fucking whack jobs.
And think of how the marriage of the perfect marriage of the internet, the phones, the conveniences, that got you the information to begin with. Nobody's going to put their phone down to pick up a gun to go fight the government. So they're not worried about too many people finding out. I mean, unless there's critical mass or there's some kind of spiritual awakening that they would have a harder time dealing with. But you know what I'm saying? They're not worried about everybody.
They're worried about managing the percentage. That's it. They're just worried about managing the main groups.
Yep. The AI's got that down there. They've got the graphs. They've had the graphs ever since, you know, loose change to know exactly how many people are aware of which thing that, you know, how many, you give a certain amount of stories that, you know, seem credible, and probably none of them are really on target.
That's why they've basically let Twitter be the free space. This is why you go on Twitter and you find like actual neo-Nazis and actual Klansmen and actual biker gangs and pedo groups, and they're literally just allowing the full expression to come out. They're just letting it all come out so that they can have ownership of it. It's their intellectual property now.
And yeah, there's no organization. If you ever had enough people online that were organizing something, they would be all over that. They would know exactly what's going on. If there was ever any kind of, like, not that it would ever get to that point, but if it ever was some sort of like threat to stabilization, they would just infiltrate it, like we've always talked about, or demonize it or whatever, you know?
Yeah. When did you guys realize, like, in your efforts to, like, you know, disconnect and cloak yourself a little bit from the information system? Oh shit! Now you realize, like, you're kind of highlighting yourself, because anytime you do connect, they're seeing the gap and how separate that you're exposing yourself as being conscious of how controlling the system is. So it's I'm almost at this point starting to try to act like a normie with technology if I use it. You know what I mean? Like, click yes on everything. Like, I just make different emails. You know, I have personal emails. I don't sign up with shit and stuff because I just, you know, I want to fit in. I'm like, shit, I want to fucking get cloaked.
That's why I appreciate IPS still to some degree, because he's, you know, the meta scripting, and he talks about a lot of the things we've been talking about tonight with the movies and the predictive programming and the scripting of the, you know, future in the past and the future, how they control each other, and stepping aside from being like psyoped in any way. Like, the one thing they don't want you to say is it was all fake. You just have to have all your theories about how real it was and who did it. But if you say it was fake, the whole thing was scripted, even the theories themselves, then that's the one thing you don't hear the Shills talk about. They don't say the whole thing is fake. They jump on one side or the other. Not that IPS isn't probably a shill himself, but, you know, there's an intelligence that I still appreciate about that.
You seen the social media think tanks?
Analysis.
They like, private companies, you know, have NDAs, go out and hire groups to come out and emulate, like, how social media would react to information. So I think you're so on the money with that, dude. They emulate how people react with control groups of 1,000. They put a lot of money.
I was a part of one of it. It was a study group, a statistic place that I went in. They were talking about. In fact, I even got a phone call before that. Like, what would you think about watching other people make their own videos rather than watching movies that were produced? The survey, and then there was a some statistic group. I forget how I was in that thing that they were showing us, but yeah, they were talking about, like, basically conspiracy information and videos on the internet when it was just coming around, and interpretations of it, and showing us little videos, and yeah, they got it all worked out ahead of time. They know their graphs and age groups and whatever the influence they're going to have to put out there, or want to put out there for whatever nefarious or some kind of, you know, lucrative results. Bitcoin's another one, and the subterfuge with that, all the altcoins and everything. Man, it's a perfect example of how they work everything.
I'm in the tech consulting field just recently, and, like, all the training material I have and all the resources are completely blowing my mind with how, like, this guy that's building this company that I'm working for, it's crazy to see how much information they have on people, just through these software conglomerates. There's like 10 or 15 companies that are all interacting, that are automating previously, much very difficult systems to roll out. So like there's guys now that can just roll out whole companies creating automated 24/7 support, and the information they have like backing all this is just, it's mind blowing. Like how really automated. And to me, I see this as like the birthing pain of where we're going. So I can't imagine we got a lot long left of like the normal reality we have now. Like the way people buy what they're told to buy, it's just going to get exaggerated. It's going to be exponential in a year or two from now, I think. So.
Yep, the real ID. I was talking about that with E1 last night too. There's some kind of like 20-point face recognition system that is like new that some company made a deal with, and it's connected to the real ID, and then yeah, it's all going to be like one thing with your bank account and your real ID and your identification through all the surveillance system networks. It was part of the big beautiful bill. The money that's being poured into that. When you look at the fine print,
it's going to be insane, dude. We spawned in such a wild time. Yeah,
it makes sense, right? The technocracy has to, like, the digital age is going to want every piece of information as much as it can possibly get, and that's how it would have to work. That's what you would do, right? You want to, have a system like that. There's no stopping it. It's justified.
If we were born any other time, we would either been born after it and it would have been normal to us, or it would have been much before it and never really seen it come to fruition. Like we're in this literal Goldilocks zone. I think is very unique to be born when we are.
Yeah, best of times and the worst of times.
Yeah,
in so many ways.
It must have been a little bit how they felt before the Industrial Revolution and shit.
Yeah, this is on another level, man. For sure, huh? The internet of things. Even the development of all that, everything's digitized, everything has a number, and they eventually, could do some very dystopian things with it, is the problem. But they can't build on our desperation. They have to build on our inspiration. And ironically, that's probably the best thing we have going for us, is because, people need to believe in the system to some degree. And even if it's an illusion, it's almost the best thing that people still believe it, or they may just like throw all the pieces off the board or do some kind of weird reset. E1 was saying he thinks that the money system is really going to change, though. Like the US dollar might actually go bye-bye as far as the world currency goes.
I think Fahrenheit 451 straight up already happened with the internet. It's just their way, like you said earlier, with this, cloaking.
The digital book burning?
Yeah, like literally.
Yeah.
I think someone was talking
about
that. They can
scrub things off the internet. I think that's part of what the Mandela effect was about. Like scrubbing things from the internet and then changing a little detail about it and having some residual information out there still that people find, so that they could control reality itself by having people refer to the internet as reality.
Did you hear the whole Mandel being what's his name?
You sent me that. You sent me that. That's a weird one. Did that come from that
Tyler guy? Yes, it did.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go. Funny that you sent me that. Almost half serious that Bob Marley became Nelson Mandela.
Well, here's the thing, man. Sometimes he's right. So I wanted to look in. I didn't have a chance to look into it, but I sent it to you right away. So.
The face, the pock marks on the face is interesting, just at like a glance. But yeah, he didn't. I don't think he came up with any of those ones that he's right about. He probably just stole.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he stole them, or he's being fed information. Like that's
it does seem like there's a different Nelson Mandela when you look at the old Nelson compared to the new Nelson. It does seem like they might have replaced him with a different person. Yeah, there's a different face, similar but different.
I hear that a lot from people. but I've never. Honestly, me personally, I've never seen that. Like people say that, oh, this guy got replaced, and I'm like, I don't know.
Did you ever see his son talking about flat Earth? He was at a college in Kingston.
Nelson Mandela's?
No, Bob Marley's son, Damian Marley.
Oh, okay. Damien? No, I didn't.
I just know
Yeah,
his song.
He wrote his
I don't
own
know
about
his
it.
speech.
It's called Patience, actually, with Nas and Damian Marley. Yeah,
You're saying he actually talked about it though?
he wrote a song about it. And he talked about
He
it.
was at this college in Kingston, and they were asking him questions, and someone in the audience asked him about that song, and so he said, that he is taught because he's Rastafarian that Earth is flat, something like that. It's like a minute long.
Right.
Oh,
It's like an hour-long speech or something. Questions and answers, yeah.
The first line is the smartest dummies can't read the language of the Egyptian mummies. I like that.
What's the line? What is it again?
The
What's
first
the
line
line?
of the song is the smartest dummies can't read the language of Egyptian mummies.
Oh, that's good. Yep. Truth in art, truth in music. It's been around forever. Fool on the Hill, right?
yeah, dude. That's his fucking bars are so sick. Oh, I love that song. Forgot about that song.
What song?
The fucking song, bro.
The fucking song, bro.
There's a dude, David Wilcock, and he says that the timeline was like tapered in like 1999. And we're like on a whole different timeline. But he's a pretty wild guy. I don't, grain of salt type shit. But
Yeah, he's the descendant, right? He's the reincarnation of the sleeping prophet and on the ancient aliens now, and total like I lost respect for that guy. He pretty good salesman with some of the stuff he was talking about. He put all his eggs in the basket that the end of the world was in 2012, though.
he's saying he's the reincarnation of Michael. It's wild, dude. He's wild.
Are you on drugs?
Drugs are bad, okay?
What, Michael? Like he was the reincarnation of who was the sleeping prophet? What was his name again? Edgar Casey. Edgar Casey.
Oh yeah, yep, that's it.
And then he's like, and my brother looks a lot like Edgar Casey's brother. He's a really good show.
See, what's weird though is recently, he had like a guest on there, and he's a contractor for the government, and he's like a guy developing a 6th-gen fighter called the Stamati, and they've got actual contracts with the government developing synthetic materials like clear metal for like the windshields on fighters. It's really wild. So there's like some crazy validity with his connections in the technology development. Wish that could all just be, a show.
And the scientists still can't explain the pyramids. Dude, that's kind of like that line too. That's good.
What's that about the scientists?
I still can't explain the pyramids.
Oh, the pyramids. Remember the cloaking thing that people were kind of doubting if that was real, and now I think it is real, right? Yeah, you can pretty much have an invisibility cloak, like the technologies actually exist. Wonder if that's ever going to be affordable. Be pretty dangerous. Mug somebody pretty easily.
Did you guys cover airplanes today? I'm just kidding.
No, we did. I was talking with Zanuck about that earlier. Got roped into an airplane discussion.
Oh shit!
It was like 12 hours ago.
Yeah, like maybe more like 6 hours ago. Yeah, it went on for a while.
It only was about 3.5 hours worth.
Yeah, it was 6 hours ago, but that was 3 hours of it. So.
Oh my. All right.
I think Zanuck likes it. I think Zanuck knows there's no answer, and he just has fun talking about it and like just rambling as if he's making sense when he knows he's not.
Yeah, he'll just carry on the nonsense.
Yeah, you can hear him smiling the whole time. You know, he's just like, yeah, you could just, you just don't get it. You don't understand. Stop interrupting me. It's like, it's such an act.
Yeah.
You guys see Grok 4 is now like a PhD and everything?
Who?
Grok 4, Elon's AI.
No, I didn't catch that, man. Tell me more.
Yeah, they're projecting that it's gonna start coming up with like new materials and designs for computers, stuff like that.
Can we ask it questions?
It's wild. It's $300 a month for Grok Heavy and only $30 a month for Light. So you can actually go use it now. Which for me, I'm already getting a lot out of the free AI just to organize thoughts, but I can imagine with what that thing is capable of right now. I mean, that's insane. We're already pretty much at above general intelligence for a business application.
Can we ask it what's the name of the mechanism that makes the plane catch up with the Earth going sideways?
You probably could. I bet, like, if you trained a Grok to like be a flat earther, because you could tell Grok you could tell Grok to be a flat earther, and it would be on your team.
Oh, I've asked the plane questions many times to the
Chat I do that with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Well, Grok will be on your, like, you can make your own assistant when you buy these, like some of these new. You could pick an open source one. You don't have to buy Grok, but you could train it to be on your side, right? Like, find supporting evidence rather than present evidence that would say, on the contrary. Like, you could have it only.
Yeah, we did that with Flat Earth. Somebody did that. It was Drace or somebody made it.
Well, it almost has like a default. It almost has a default of reason that you can actually get it to. It can't completely lie, even if it has to like justify some of its answers that it's programmed to give. Like it eventually tells me, no, there would be no way for the plane to be in sync with the Earth with the scenario you're talking about. And then like the little like add on. But pilots are trained to deal with tangential velocity for sure, even though I can't tell you exactly how.
Right. We tried to come up with names for that mechanism, but I can't remember. I thought we had a couple good ones.
Oh yeah, the plane that there's like whatever you guess at the time, whatever you didn't already say doesn't work. You're just gonna say the engines did it. The mechanism in the plane did it.
The aeronometer is spinning.
You could train it to throw perturbation theory out the window and see. You could label like electron, like all these small particles. You could say that they're just inference. Like that's for me where I think it'd be great to invest a lot of money into trying to do that. Like,
what's perturbation theory?
That's the electron orbiting a central nucleus.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The solar system model.
Yeah, you could basically tell your AI to disregard that, and you could even, if you have a personal belief on it's just an inference model, right? There's just vibrations there. You could actually tell AI what to label that variable as. That'd be such an interesting route to go down, because you could pre-position your AI to not even mess around or waste time with the mainstream model and how they define. You could have your own language in there.
Scary future.
I think Flat GPT. I think Shane made one of those, or somebody did.
It was
Flat GPT.
Was it Drace or somebody? I don't know.
Yeah. He was doing a lot of the AI stuff. Some of that's amazing. The interpretations and the voices, like the objective analysis with the woman that sounds like she's actually understanding what people were saying, and it seems like there's no measurement for curvature. Like very good.
It's gotten better at like the pauses and breathing and
yeah.
it's getting really scary, man.
It doesn't seem like that long ago that it was hard to get like a really good automatic phone messaging voice, or
Yeah.
something to read your text that sounded natural. That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, this stuff's moving at freaking high speed at this point, man. I can't keep up, dude. There's no way. I'm gonna lean on you guys.
I'm just gonna be practicing my robot polishing. I'm gonna be the best robot polisher there ever was.
Yep. I want to see a fucking AI robot change a string on a piano, man. I want to see that.
Yeah, exactly. That's not gonna happen.
Fuck out of here.
You're safe. I think you're safe.
I think I'm safe.
And even though there's textiles, the prostitutes are pretty safe too.
Yeah. When the robots start building houses, and not the 3D printed shit, we know about that, but slamming 2x4s together and drywall and paint and all that, yeah. Then I'll start freaking out.
Yeah, the service industries. There's going to be a lot more, value for personal contact too. People are not going to want to deal with machines when it comes down to something important.
Right. Yeah, they don't want to deal with that shit. I want a real plumber, man.
Yeah, the
robot
plumber.
I can get you
right. It wouldn't be cost effective to train a robot to come in and deal with your pipes. That would be too complicated.
Think about the dexterity of a human hand and how a human can fit into a tight space and use their dexterity to do like plumbing or electrical.
Yeah.
I would guess that we're at least 20 years away from any robot getting close to that. At the very least,
having the experience to recognize something that is unusual and having that happen only once, like 20 years ago, but you know what to look for. Yeah. I think that's not going to happen for a while.
I think they will be able to like find the problem and resolve it, like as far as having a solution, but the ability to interact with the world to actually implement a fix on something, like I just feel like we're a long way from that. But
they're gonna have people like remote in before they're autonomous. Yeah, because the articulation is there in these machines, so they're gonna have a lot of remote positions for engineers just controlling arms.
Yeah, don't they have that in like China where you can just sit at home with a headset on and you have like an avatar robot thing that you're controlling?
Well, there was a movie like that. There was an old. There was like a independent film, and it was like a South America, like a Mexican, or it was in Spanish. It was like back in the 2000s. I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. Basically, instead of the illegals coming over the border to work, American companies would hire them to like sit in these like crummy warehouses to control the robots that were like in America doing housekeeping and stuff. Do you remember that movie?
Oh shit, I don't know, but a lot of cheap labor in Mexico. Miguel Aguirre's back in the 80s, 90s, you could get guys building your shit for like $2 an hour or something. It was crazy. All these companies were building shit there. Anyway, I'm sure it still goes on.
Seems like the key is to get the robots or the AI to assist you in doing something more so than having it do it for you. Like augment it. Like have it write the script, but then you rewrite the script to make it even better.
Here's the other question: is how much is this robot going to cost? How much maintenance is it going to need?
Yeah, who's going to fix it? It'll be some dude like me. I'll come in there and fucking straighten out the servos and switch them out and put a new board in there. Fuck it, no problem.
The tradesmen are going to be the millionaires. Sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
It's just gonna be like the beginning of Terminator 1.
Yeah. It's called Skynet, right? Skynet instead of
Starlink.
it's
Yeah,
very
that's
similar.
that's
Starlink.
right.
I don't know. It's a ways off, but it's coming. Like the ports, they have that whole port LBCT.
Right.
It's all
We got-
automated. There's still people there because that shit breaks down every day. But
Right.
they're gonna think in like 2028 they're gonna have another port is just gonna be robots. It's just infrastructure right now can't handle much more like the electricity that they need. They're
Right.
working with it right now, so it's only a matter of time.
If you go down to the, because I live in LA here, if you go down to Long Beach and you watch the automated, they have these like automated.
That's what he's talking about.
Oh, okay, yeah, they're pretty cool. Like they move the containers around on the
Yeah.
like autonomously.
G, calm down. That's where he works out there at the docks, man. So gets to see that shit a lot. Anyway, it's yeah. I haven't seen it working, man. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, the one right there under the bridge is LBCT, and then there's another one way out there by the prison, Maersk.
Yeah.
Pier 400. Anyway, it's gonna slowly take over. But there's other jobs opening up, so kind of like whatever.
Just kidding. That would be retarded.
It's not coming through.
How fucking close are we to idiocracy, man? I was thinking about that today. I'm like, am I?
They're gonna drop one 15-minute city that's way too attractive, and I think we're gonna start slipping that way. Because they're gonna leave all the old shit behind, so you'll actually have that old infrastructure falling over and all the,
right.
fat, ugly people moving in.
There you go. I think we're there, man. I didn't think about the smart cities versus fucking where idiocracy was happening.
Well, that's why you got to watch the Giver, because it depicts everything outside of the smart city is like this desolate, like fucking dust cloud
shit show. Yeah,
yeah. Like what's those tumbleweeds and shit just fucking everywhere. Like that's it.
The fucking desert, man. Fucking.
I got a laptop set up on a movie website, and I'm putting that on the list.
There you go.
The Giver.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a scene with the baby that obviously, like, I don't know. I think if you can't watch it, just skip it. But it's part of everything that is important. So
Definitely one of my top 5 books for sure that I've read.
I need to read the book. That's the thing. I've only seen the movie.
Really
I'm wondering how I missed this book.
I gotta check out the movie. I might watch that later, actually.
You can't know everything, man. You gotta. Shit's gonna come to you when you're ready.
Anybody read The Wheel of Time?
No.
Amazon totally fucked it up. They released a show on it, but I read that series when I was a kid. But it's a similar, just in a segue to like books that expose some deeper aspects of reality, maybe. Such a big universe. It talks about like the cyclical nature of like it kind of leans toward reincarnation, but it's more of like destiny, and like certain characters are called Taviran, where they're like highly influential to those around them, and it's not like conscious, right? People just get married and shit just goes down when main characters show up. To me, there's something interesting about that because it leans towards like, okay, how would someone emulate that, if that makes sense, right? Is there some sort of non-spiritual, or some people's, you look at the control system that's impacting us all, like would they be influencing certain people to be naturally more influential with this system, right? How much information they have, they can basically make people think they're highly influential when really it's just a like manipulative events around them, like the curators or something.
What do you think of this NVIDIA company, man?
Video company?
NVIDIA,
Oh, NVIDIA?
NVIDIA?
NVIDIA.
Yeah, what's up?
What do
The
you
Blackwell
guys?
chips? Oh my god.
So this guy they said he's worth more than fucking Warren Buffett.
Oh, they print money. Yeah.
They print this money. But they, market valued his company at like $4 trillion or some cuck shit. Fucking show. I was just wondering what you guys knew more about it. You guys are in the tech world way more than me, man. But what's up?
Yeah, I mean, they're God, basically.
Yeah, they're rolling out the Blackwell chips, which is the infrastructure behind all the new AI, and it's really insane. They're even stepping off at, like, if you're looking at their mini Blackwell, you can get like a super OP GPU. Like you could run, desktop architecture on there, just like you can run AI models. So they're, the bedroom producer now can get one of these mini Blackwell chips and just run AI models in their room. So
yeah, it's got 96 gigabytes of RAM. It's it's $9,000, and it's been in my Amazon cart for like a month now. Or 2 months.
And I think, dude, I swear, I think those are going to be somewhere around $2 or $3 grand in like a year or two, right?
No. Their retail is like 9, but in a few years,
there's going to be a cliff. Yeah, good.
In like 3 years, you could probably get a used one for 3, maybe 4. But with 96 gigs, bro, I don't know, man. That's a lot.
I'm just thinking, out in space, just because, like, if they're already pulling that off, like that's Gen 1,
right?
Like, I'm just wondering, oh my, like,
what the hell?
Dude, they went up.
Dude, they're
$9,500 now.
Went up $500. Well, it's been getting a lot of press this weekend. I don't know, man. I saw a couple things. I'm like, $4 trillion market value. Who the fuck is this? Never heard of you.
Oh, well, they led in. I'm getting feedback. Sorry. They led in computer graphics.
Yeah, they're
as of probably like 25 years ago or so. And then they teamed up with NASA like 15 years ago, and it was just through the roof since then. I think they've been providing ever since Silicon Graphics was like in the background. I think that NVIDIA took over as like the flagship, like graphical production. Like, I think they helped overhaul the graphics for outer space. I think they provided the engineering, and they leapfrogged into ray tracing so that they could do all the spacewalks and have everything look appropriate and do the live stream starting since like 2010 or 2012 or whenever they started doing that. I think NVIDIA was the powerhouse that allowed them to do that, because they pushed ray tracing into the digital space. Nobody asked for it. Nobody was looking for it. They just said, oh yeah, by the way, we've been working on this shit. Here you go. And it's like the same thing that they would need to reproduce those environments.
Absolutely.
Damn.
And that the guy, the well-dressed Chinese guy we get the keynotes from, that's the public sector of the company. And so I wonder a lot about what you're saying right now, actually. How many contracts they have with the government, how long they've been working, what's their hand in these graphical user interfaces for the government's model data, like their frame generation stuff, like all their image scaling and gaming. I really hadn't thought about that, actually. That's crazy.
Yeah, me either, bro. That's why I brought it up. I'm like, I know you guys know something about
all the stuff that they're coming out with. We didn't ask for it. They're dropping stuff that they're using on their side.
Yeah, it seems like they got the ball and they're just marching down the field with it. And everybody's going, oh, this is cool and this is great. And I got AI and I can make a movie in 27 seconds. And you're like, what do you mean you can make a movie in 27 seconds? Yeah, watch this, boom, boom, click, and you got a whole movie, like, and I'm being a bit ridiculous, but you guys know what I mean, man. It's like, holy shit, this shit took off like way from fucking deep fake to this, man. It's been a Boom.
Rick,
Whoa.
did you see the spine, the little spine technology that NVIDIA just released? It was like they snuck it out. Okay, so this thing is crazy. It's a way for them to like interface the new Blackwell chips, and they're calling it a spine.
Yeah. They're saying it's like that server rack is like the strongest computer in the world, and it's like on stage, like right there.
Yeah, and they're commercially, going to make them available. That spine, it can copy the internet per second. It's 130 terabytes a second. So that's like, I mean, there's no limits now to the AI. And whatever's going on with the government, the private sector, they've had this for a while. It's like, holy shit.
Dude, they've had this shit for 20 years. I guarantee it, man. They just roll it out whenever they, need to take it to the next level. Yeah. They always have had, dude, they had fucking Discord in 1995, okay? Yeah. They're always like 20 years ahead, man.
TeamSpeak. You remember the TeamSpeak days?
Or I liked Mumble better, but
oh yeah.
Actually, even before that, I liked Mumble and IRC. That's all I needed, or AIM, but that was like private. But
You heard about that new bit chat from Jack Dorsey that doesn't need any internet or cell service?
No.
Yeah, check that out.
Bit chat. Bit chat?
Yeah, BIC chat.
Have you guys seen Stingray technology?
Nope.
This bit chat made me think of it because I'm wondering, what type of infrastructure you're using to communicate. Well, we know there's like publicly available tech that can spy on existing, frequencies in the air. I mean, is that just a total wireless interaction? That's interesting? Because let's say I get like an old RPM drive. Those are ones and zeros. They create positive, negative charges. Those are a lot easier to observe apparently wirelessly with some of this tech because you can see the magnetic field domains created by these positive, negative charges. I'm wondering if he's got is he got a tech that's might be based similar to that? That's crazy. Do you know what kind of tech he's using for that? Probably hasn't talked about it.
Did you ask me something? I was listening to Tool.
Oh,
stop that shit! Stop that shit,
bro. Sorry, bro. I'm ADD over here, man. I don't know.
Tool's dope.
I see Tool. I click Tool. I mean, I'm a simple man. I'm a simple man, bro.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Well, I was wondering what type of. Well, I'm just saying, like the biggest effect on humanity from what you were explaining, like that.
Shit on. You could look it up.
Simple man, bro.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Well, I was wondering what type of tech you could be using to do it, to not be using the internet or.
I have no idea. Unless he's using like Starlink or something. I don't know.
It's hacks. It's voodoo magic.
Dude, I'm not even buying that it's real, man. So it sounds like somebody's fudging. Did you guys hear about that company that was making an AI and it turned out they were raising all this money and it was really hot, and then it turned out that they just hired like 1,000 Chinese guys to fucking answer the questions for the AI and shit.
It's Bluetooth.
Got him.
It's Bluetooth.
Bluetooth messaging app. Yeah, it's the name of it.
There you go.
Bluetooth.
Big chat. Bluetooth. Okay. Encrypted chat app download. Sounds a bit sketchy, man. But I'll let you guys test it out. Let me know. Sounds a bit sketchy, bro. So I was at a red light tonight, man. It's the first time I ever saw this. And one of the most affluent cities in the country called Newport Beach, California.
Mhm.
And there's this flashing blue light, like up on the side of the pole there, the light, and it's flashing. And then this voice came on and said, "You are being video recorded for your own safety, or for your safety. You're being video recorded." And I was like, "Oh my." It felt, I don't know, it just felt like a scene out of some movie I watched. I was like, I've never seen that before. Have you guys ever seen like a flashing blue light and it's telling you it's video recording you? It was weird.
See him at Walmart.
No.
Yeah, they got them at Walmart. They got the flashing blue light, but it doesn't say out loud, "You're being video recorded for your own safety," or whatever.
Have you seen the driverless vehicles anywhere in your cities?
Oh fuck! Earlier this year, I was in Phoenix, man, and they were everywhere, bro. They're fucking. I was freaking out. I was at a stoplight, man. There was 3 of them, man. One was off to my left, making a left, and there was 2 in front of me, going straight. And I was like, and there was nobody in the cars, by the way. Nobody. I saw maybe one guy in the back of one. I got a glimpse. It looks like he was looking at his phone, but that weekend I was there, man. They were everywhere. The Waymo, the Jaguar SUV.
They're getting so much data testing those right now.
Well, yeah, they're getting the data. But I remember back when there was an X Prize for self-driving cars, and they were out in the desert out here in California and Nevada, giving out like, I don't know, millions of dollars for if anybody could come up with a self-driving car that could go through like a dirt track. And anyway, that was years ago. And then I even asked my nephew like 10 years ago, I was like, "Do you think we'll ever see, these self-driving cars?" He was in high school at the time. He goes, "I don't know, probably like 10 years." And yeah, for sure as fuck all, man, it's here. Couldn't believe it. Wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it with my own 2 eyes. I actually wanted to take a ride on one because just to say I did, maybe go like a couple blocks or something. But yeah, I wasn't going to let's get on the freeway and drive to fucking Vegas. No, I wasn't going to do that. But yeah, it'd be cool to just say I was in a driverless car once. Yeah. How many people can say that, It's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, I think the action models are going to get real advanced.
Yeah. So yeah, I have a neighbor drives Tesla. Yeah, I don't know what year it is. Probably like 2020 or something. And it fucking there were some cars in front of her squirreling left, right, fucking spinning. And her Tesla, man, fucking took over and absolutely fucking avoided all the shit. And she's like, "Dude, I didn't ask it to do that. I didn't want it to, I was like trying to figure it out myself, but the fucking car just took over and got her away from the danger of an accident, man." I thought that was like pretty fucking crazy, man. That was like a couple years ago. Anyway. So yeah, the Tesla's pretty advanced tech, man. I was driving around one a couple weeks ago, and a friend of mine, fucking driving, and I'm like, "You're not even like driving the car, are you?" And she's like, "Kind of, barely." She goes, "When it makes a left turn, man, you gotta take over because it makes the left turns like too slow." And she's like, "Yeah, you gotta kind of." So she's learning how to work with the self-driving car to help it, go at a more average pace. Because but she said her car doesn't have the latest tech. They want like 10 grand for an upgrade to the latest tech, man. They get you on the back end of those Teslas too. Yeah, if you want to upgrade, it's like 10 grand. Anyway.
Yeah, like shitting on their early buyers.
Yeah, exactly. Buy a new one. They just want you to buy a new one.
People keep telling me they're gonna try to make engines obsolete. I'm just like, I hope not.
Well, I hope not too. I think they're going to push the hydrogen engines, combustion engines, and then, and the electric. There's a lot where I live here in Southern California. There's a lot of hydrogen cars. Toyota makes one. I don't know. I think Nissan might make one, but the Toyota's been around a while. I see a lot of them. I mean, not a lot, but at least a couple a week. They're out there, and I've seen the hydrogen stations where you go and fill up. They're very, very different looking than the gas stations. They're this big, giant blue box. It's just a big blue box is what it is. And they're very obvious that that's not a freaking gas pump. I mean, they're completely different than typical gas pumps.
I feel like I'm spending so much money on gas right now. I drive a V8 4Runner.
Oh, yeah, you're getting clobbered.
Okay, I'm going to say it right here. You guys may have heard me say it before, but I'm making a note now. The new self-driving vehicles.
Yeah.
Oh no, I typed it wrong. Fuck. Sorry. Basically, okay, vehicles that are not self-driving will become the new manuals.
Oh yeah. You know to drive a manual? Oh yeah.
Oh, dude. Dig this, man. I saw a story this week, bro. This week. There was a kid bought a Mazda Miata, like 5-speed, and he was teaching people to drive a stick in this thing, and he was making like 10 grand a week doing it.
Oh yeah, he's charging money.
Yeah,
I saw that article.
I was like, "Why? Get the fuck!" I mean, I should be doing that. I love driving a stick, man. I fucking got 1,000,000 miles on a stick, 1,000,000 at least. No problem. I can handle the fucking stick shift, man. I'm not gonna get a big rig. I'm not that qualified, but those Mongos are a different level. But yeah. So yeah, there you go. You said it, Riggs. I heard it. Yeah. Driving will become the new manual. Yeah, the new manual. Because apparently these kids today cannot drive manuals, man. It freaks them out. They get on
it's theft deterrent.
It's theft deterrent. Yeah, that's another thing. I've seen that meme 100 times, man. Yeah. Theft deterrent device. It shows the stick shift. I'm like, what? What do you mean?
I drove a manual Accord for like 4 years.
Yeah, there you go.
It was awesome.
Mm-hmm. My friend always said, my best man, he would just tell me when we were driving, like, dude, I don't want the fucking car to decide what gear I need to be in, man. I know I want to decide what gear I'm in.
Right.
And, I go, dude, that makes sense. Totally. I mean, if you're going downhill, you're uphill, you might downshift. There's different scenarios. And the car doesn't always know. The automatic transmission doesn't always know what to do. Sometimes in an automatic transmission, if you're rolling down a hill a little bit and then you try to give it some gas, it does this weird thing, and you're like, what the fuck did it just do? It's like with the manual, man, you know exactly what's going on, man. So enjoy your stick shift, people.
I miss my manual, bro. I do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I miss mine too. But
I like eating a cheeseburger while I'm driving sometimes, though.
That's hard to do if you're shifting.
Yeah, I used to be able to do it sometimes.
I could do it. I mean, I definitely drink my coffee, no problem.
Yeah.
Might be able to grab a French fry here or there while I'm driving.